great song, beautiful song there, and it's by Diana Hamilton. Look, she's a medical professional based in the UK, you know. But you can get a lot more... UK. And you can get a lot more of her songs on our YouTube channel. So look at my channel, my Joy Online TV, you get a lot more of the songs interspersed in our uploads there. But right now we have to look at the newspapers. We know that people are glorifying people's downfall. But Ghana is like, pull him down. But the newspapers are brought to you by Smart Organic Solutions Association, and SOS Advance is the name.
Yeah, good morning to you, Roland.
Good morning to
You're trying to be rude.
I'm not trying to be rude.
If you're trying to just totally ignore me on the side.
Hey, Charlie.
Well, good morning if you're just joining us. You missed you missed the AM news, but thankfully we've got the newspapers and we will go online, so you will certainly be updated. But the review segment here on our show is brought to you courtesy SOS Advance. Is a natural and organic health supplement used for cleaning the blood and boosting the immune system. Use SOS Advance for the whole family. We're talking baby, elderly, and doctors, pharmacies will encourage you to call 0244 439 830, 0244 439 830 and get the product Smart Organic Solutions in your stores. Is available at Santa Monica Health Shop, is opposite Golden Tulip Hotel, Relish Health Shop in Osu, Ebenezer's Pharmacy also in Osu, and here in Kokomlemle, Tudon Ventures. SOS Advance is the natural solution for blood disorders, digestive issues, and skin conditions. Straight up, we're starting off with the Daily Graphic newspaper. But let me also just say that you can send us your messages. Your comments are definitely welcome via WhatsApp and regular text messaging. So we'll start with the Daily Graphic newspaper. On the front page of the Daily Graphic, Roland, of today, Bank of Ghana probes UT Capital Bank directors for roles in collapse of their banks. This is the biggest story for us here in Ghana. The whole of yesterday, the conversations will continue today, because for most of us, it was just very sudden. At least that's how it came across with customers and all of that. So lots of talking points still with this particular subject of UT and Capital Bank. We've got a wrap of how things unfolded from the beginning to the end. We'll play that to you just before we begin AM Talk with Roland Walker and his guests later this morning. Yeah,
and well, we know what the stories were. A very sorrowful sight for the way the bank perhaps ultimately came to a wrap. But we know that at the end of the day, we had great entrepreneurs behind these institutions. We have to say kudos to them for making sure that they impacted lives throughout the period of the bank. But that's how it is. Sometimes you rise and you fall. And when you fall, you try to rise again. So we'll see how that goes.
All right, still in the Daily Graphic newspaper, page 32, GMPC must not be cash cow, according to Energy Minister. Story says the Minister of Energy, Mr. Boachie Ejako, has told the Public Accounts Committee that the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation was in the past used as a cash cow to support other government entities to provide guarantees and liquidity for specific purposes. The quotes, co-mingling of assets of the GMPC with others was not healthy, unquote. He stressed at the committee sitting in Accra yesterday. Mr. Jacko therefore called for the proper documentation of guarantees for state entities instead of a minister just directing the GMPC to assist those entities. And if you continue to read, it will tell you a lot more about what the Energy Minister said. Also making an appearance was Mr. William Amuna, CEO of Gridco. He answered some questions. And, you know, ECG owes Gridco a lot of money, but they can't simply just take them off, shut them off, because, as we all know, some entities can certainly not do without electricity. That was also a conversation had. Mr. Joseph Boahin Edu, CEO of the Ghana Cocoa Board Company, also made an appearance and said some questions. So it's all been captured right here in the Daily Graphic newspaper. Back page of the graphic, though. Gaming Commission naps 3 for illegal distribution of slot machines. That's the back page head story in the graphic today. It says 3 Chinese nationals allegedly engaged in the illegal distribution of slot machines used for gambling They've been busted by officials of the Gaming Commission of Ghana. The three, made up of 2 men and a woman, were identified as illegal gaming operators who had not been licensed to engage in any game of chance. Neither do they have a license authorizing them to operate, import, sell, or distribute any of the machines in their possession. So they're all Chinese, by the way. And there are pictures on the back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper of today. Roland?
So we have the Ghanaian Times. BOG chases UT Capital Bank bosses following collapse of 2 banks. We also have Doomsaw shrinks economy by 3 billion. And we have a couple of those stories there, Mama V.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we also have a couple of the stories there. 20 dead in Burkina Faso terror attack, but we should also say that just this morning we're hearing that this serious, is it landslide or mudslide?
It's a mudslide.
Okay, mudslide.
Yeah, we'll talk Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone. We're told that sometimes it happens not on the scale like it has happened
this is
today, just all the early hours of today. And so far, the rescue services, just like you find in
this happened
notably
yesterday.
Yeah, notably in many of those African countries, including ours, the rescue services are just not up to it. So they're having some difficulties in trying to recover people and the bodies, etc. Okay, so those are the stories we have. And we have on the back page, Eastern Region Security Council investigate death of 4 illegal miners, and we know that that is going to take place. And that incident involving Operation Vanguard and the role they are playing, we know the various investigative bodies will do a very good job to ascertain the cause of these deaths, because we said we want to undertake a certain exercise, and sometimes I don't know whether we're up to it, because sometimes anyway. Ghana targets are going to increase exports to the United States of America president, and that's according to the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. So the story is also on the back page of the paper. That's the Ghanaian Times.
All right, I've got the Finder newspaper. That's the paper we'll touch on next. And on the front page of the Finder today, you'll find Bank of Ghana, your deposits are safe. They're reassuring all customers of Capital and UT banks that, you know, your deposits are safe. Governor assures clients of UT and Capital banks. Dr. Ernest Addison, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, is on the front page with this story. A picture of him, comes along with this headline. Also, over 500 nurses employed by health sector. Ghana targets $500 million export volumes under AGOA. And on industrialization, government at implementation stage, according to President Akufo-Addo. Galamsey linked to kidney failures. That's a conversation that Seth Kwame Boateng also filed for us yesterday from Cape Coast. That story on page 11 in the Finder newspaper.
And I have a medical science friend of mine who is a professor at the University of Cape Coast. He says that apparently his students had done some research on this at Takwa.
Okay.
He's willing to speak to us on the subject.
Oh, okay, yeah. That would be good. So it says, okay, where's the story? Yeah, here we go. The leadership of this is over 500 nurses employed by the health sector. That's the story there. But this is about the Galamsey link to kidney failures. Says authorities of the Central Regional Hospital have disclosed they are recording increasing cases of kidney infection from persons linked to illegal mining. Hospital authorities believe many are suffering from the condition because of the chemicals they're exposed to, such as mercury. And Chief Executive of the hospital, Dr. Daniel Asari, says many are rushed from Takwa and other mining towns to the hospital for kidney dialysis. Here's a quote: "It is pathetic. 65 of them are on dialysis," he said during a visit by the health minister to the region Monday. Details of that here. Okay, so here's one, for instance, says one of them, 12-year-old Kwame, told me, I burn it on my own where I get fire at my mother's house or any place. Kwame carried a small bottle of mercury with him at all times. He and his fellow miners had never been told about its dangers. So you can imagine, that's a 12-year-old.
And his kidney or he's one of those who are currently in the act.
No, yeah. So they're talking about how they handle the chemicals involved and how they are exposed to these
and how
chemicals.
hazardous it is.
Exactly.
I think it's something we'll take up and see.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of other headlines in this paper today. This is about the nurses. The leadership of the Coalition of Bonded Allied Health Professionals has confirmed that over 500 of their members have been notified of their employment. According to them, the recruitment is a result of the protests they held at the Ministry of Health over their unemployment. So I guess now that 500 of them have been employed and they're linking this to the protests, we will see a lot more protests, since that in a way seemed to be, you know, the solution or to a lot of people's problems, at least for the nurses. I'm just saying. Details of that in the paper, plus other stories. Oh, marijuana use linked to blood pressure deaths. Also another story in the paper. Says marijuana use may triple your risk of dying from high blood pressure. That's according to a new study. Yeah. Okay. All right, Roland. That's it.
Ntampe.
What, you use it?
Ogbo.
Just to let you know that is linked to blood pressure deaths.
I didn't say I use it.
So
the Daily
just
Guide.
Watch it.
The Daily Guide. No mischief there. The Daily Guide is an excerpt we're looking at. It has on the front page, 2 banks crash, customers panic over takeover. And you have a picture there. I don't know why sometimes we're doing this to these great entrepreneurs we have in our country. But we have a very beautiful picture of the Bank of Ghana, Governor, Dr. Ernest Addison. And the picture that they put there of Prince Kofi Amwa being founding partner of UT Bank is him on a holiday. Why do we do this? Kind of mockery. Look, what some of these people have achieved, most people will never achieve. I mean, we have to be realistic about it. So we have other stories there, though. On the front page, GRA boss targets Daily Guide. Apparently, they had difficulties with payment of taxes, etc., and they didn't take kindly to it. They wrote a great story on it. It's on the 3rd page of the paper. So
No, wait, I don't get it. GRA targets Daily Guide.
Okay, so this, I said the Commissioner General of the Ghana, you know how media guys, you target other people, when they target you, it's more trouble. The Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Emmanuel Kofinti, last week unleashed a bus load of police officers and staff of his office to come and threaten the management of Western Publications Limited, publishers of Daily Guide, with closure. For the period that the drama-like spectacle lasted, the offices of the newspaper became signature of...
So why did they storm the place? That's what I'm interested in. They wanted to check their books.
A signature, become a signature. A signature. Charlie, look for dictionary and Google this one for me. Signature of the neighborhood.
What have they done wrong?
It caused
to
an embarrassment to a corporate entity which has over the years not checked its financial responsibility to both the state and the community. Charlie, I can't move here. Where's Yusuf? Look at the picture.
It happens.
Look at the picture of Prince Kofi Amwabi when he was reveling on a holiday at somewhere in the Caribbean with some nice, carnival cheeky. What's wrong with that?
Well, let me get a close up shot. I thought this was a joke.
Yeah.
Why would they? Oh no.
Yeah. He has many pictures in formal suit and all that.
Yeah, that's what they choose to use.
No. It's just
well,
so we have more trouble for Manly Spain, and NDC attack dogs loose, says Martin Amidu. Okay, so those are the stories we have. I'm done with the guy. Let me continue
with the Daily Dispatch newspaper.
I like the center spread, but
what's in the center spread?
Some normal stories I have. Let's go on.
Let's do the Daily Dispatch newspaper and front page of the Dispatch today. Apart from UT and Capital banks, other banks are strong. Bank of Ghana assures. So in the press conference, he did mention that there were some other banks, but he also did clarify that those banks are in good conditions now. They're strong. It's just these two. So don't expect more names, because that's the thing that's been making rounds, that more names, more banks are going to be exposed in the same manner, and they're going to be swallowed by, like a Ghana commercial bank. But the Bank of Ghana governor has assured these are just the two banks that have defaulted that are so bad they had to get somebody else to take over them. What you need to know about the collapse of UT and Capital banks. Lots of things are coming out really, and one of it is how they picked up lots of awards, especially Capital banks. Capital Bank, how they did a fantastic rebranding of the bank and how people thought that was the best, that we've had in the system a very long while.
What's
and
wrong
how
with that?
they got,
That's
like an emerging bank, kind of like.
You mean they pay for
their
awards? Is that what you're
They
saying?
got a lot of lots of awards, just like in 2 years. And so people can't believe that this has happened at this time. Yeah. Oh. And the others were also trolling very much on social media.
It's online. That's what they're trolling.
Names behind these banks. Lots of theories coming out. That's it for the Daily Dispatch, by the way.
Let's look at the Statesman. So the next paper we're looking at is the Statesman. And the Statesman newspaper has on the front page a number of stories, and very soon will be on your screens. And the Statesman says ex-Maslock boss loses Pega transport ownership. And we know that there had apparently been a dispute. And following that, we've had now her losing that. You have a picture there of the ex-Maslock boss. I'm told that according to the report, she was out of office by 2013 for some issues. $500 million exports and agua, or $500 million export and agua by 2020. That's a target for President Akufo-Addo. And government committed to grow financial bank. Government committed to grow banks, I think, as GCB takes over 2 banks. Wow.
You're through?
Okay.
What's in the Al-Hajj?
The Al-Hajj newspaper. Okay. The Al-Hajj newspaper. We don't usually think.
I do it actually.
Yeah, I know.
When I have it.
I'm saying that when you
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I get it. So if you don't mind, pass it.
Okay.
Front page of the Al-Hajj newspaper.
The Al-Hajj newspaper.
Akufo-Addo lauds John Mahama at Heads of State Summits. Also on the front page of the paper, Ken Des Baumia, if we say economy is broken, Baumia, fix it. That's a quote. Okay, also Valerie's smoking gun, Rollins, Amidu risk expulsion from NDC. Akufo-Addo must resign.
Who risk expulsion? Who?
Rollins, Amidu.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there are apparently some Ghanaians abroad who are calling on President Akufo-Addo to resign.
They do that.
Documents all abuse and corruption under MPP. NDC guru urges party. So there you have it, the front page headlines in the Al-Hajj newspaper. Let's finish off, Roland, if you don't have any hardcore papers to do.
No. Can we do the online
Let's do the
portals?
Business and Financial Times. That will be the last paper.
Okay, that's what you have?
Yes,
okay.
I have the Business and
Financial Times is up next.
Paper. We need about 5 strong local banks. Oforiatta says as GCB takes over 2, we need about 5 strong local banks. UT Capital Bank couldn't be on life support forever. That's according to the Bank of Ghana. Develop insurance sector to attract FDI. Activa MD, according to him. Lots of other, finance stories in the paper today. You can grab it and check the stories out. Straight away, we want to do the online review as well. But just to remind you that the online review, whether it's online or the newspapers, is brought to us in association with SOS Advance. Is a natural solution for blood disorders, digestive issues, and skin conditions. Let's do myjoyonline.com, Roland.
So we have myjoyonline.com, and we have other stories there.
Burkina Faso attack justifies deployment of Operation Vanguard. Security expert Dr. Kwesi Enin says the government must demonstrate the capacity to deal decisively with resistance to the anti-galamsey. We'll bring you an update. We'll bring you an update
too much truth
on Burkina Faso in a little while. Can you stop the whining and the ranting this morning? Let's move on.
From abroad.
Ablakwa repeats call for vigilance following Burkina Faso terror attacks. Oforiatta pushes for Ghana as an international financial center. We're not. Let's move on. Ethiopian Airlines retrofits B767 300 fleets from flats bed.
It means that it's been rehabilitated. Though.
Okay, it's been fully refurnished in
It's not only refurbished though.
Roland.
It is scary.
They fully refurbished their Boeing 767 300 ER fleets and availed for service on its India, Middle East, and Africa.
And you know, with my little education on the aviation sector, Mama V, a plane can even be 40 years, but when it's refurbished, it's as good as new. Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's look at the other headlines here quickly. Bui Power Authority admits breach of law in over $1 million vehicle purchase. This was a revelation at the Public Accounts Committee sitting yesterday. Proposal for closing time extension is lazy. The Institute for Education Studies has described as lazy government proposal to extend the closing time for basic schools in the country from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. We'll have our own debate on this. Yeah. Roland in one corner, myself in another corner.
You see, huh? When are we doing that?
Amma Ata Edo takes on GES. We can do that on Friday. Okay. Education Ministry over extra classes. See, there we go. They're going for summer classes, and it's summer, like all year round in Ghana. So which one is the summer again?
Your children go for summer.
See, the tricky thing is
summer classes.
Really? Is that what I've said? We will talk about the closing time, Roland. We'll talk about the closing time.
And then Papa Kojo.
We will talk about
Papa Kojo,
Roland. We will talk about the closing at 2 p.m. and the ongoing summer classes in almost all the schools.
You know, my kids come home at 4:30. I keep asking them,
what with the summer classes?
No.
4:30?
Every day. They come home at 4:30. I ask them,
wow.
What do you learn? So we do extra classes.
Wow.
Say, okay. And then there will be a teacher at home for them or something. You have to learn French or something. Every day, Saturday, they have to go for UC Maths class.
Listen, Roland, it's tricky.
They should relax.
Parents will take their children to these vacation classes because you realize that when they stay home, for a very long time, they tend to forget.
Yeah, sure.
Because even if you're writing 1 to 100, try it.
You have to keep them.
If they have not been to any class or they have not revised.
You know one thing? There are too many distractions now in our environment for children to focus. So continuously giving them those sort of extra, especially when you are not around, I think is the best way to go.
It's tricky. It's tricky. I know we're letting our children do so much. We will talk about this, really. All right. Shonda Rhimes leaves ABC for Netflix. Oh, here we go.
Mr. Thompson is saying something.
The woman behind
is our son guy.
Grey's Anatomy and Scandal is leaving the world of terrestrial TV to join Netflix. When some people are leaving Netflix, others are joining.
But Netflix is glowing, is glowingly growing.
Okay, so here's the ECG, owing Gridco. ECG piles up $1 million debts per week as Gridco debt rises to 600 million Ghana cedis.
His dreams are coming back.
Okay, so that's it. We've got to run, but quickly, let's just update you on international news. Let's start with Sierra Leone on this slide. This is something that has not happened this scale in Sierra Leone. More than 200 killed in Sierra Leone as mudslide sweeps away homes. And this happened, in the capital, Freetown. And this is a country of a lot of tragic history. They're just recovering from Ebola. And here we have
Before then, there was a war.
See? And, there's a description of what happened. There was as if the mountains...
I've watched a couple of videos on YouTube on mudslides. Like, for example, those who are on some of those mountains we call, mountain, high mountain. Some of them are mud. They are just racked up sand. Until one day, no. And
that's what when they describe this community, they're very.
If you're on the rocky hill, that's better. But if you're just on bare land, that looks like a hill, you have to be careful.
It's sad. It's sad.
But in Ghana, we don't have a lot of those.
And like you were describing the rescue mission, now it's not even rescue. because, you know, there's nobody to rescue. They're just pulling corpses out right now. And there's a central mortuary that's choked already. They're getting over 300 dead bodies still, you know. And the place is flooded as well. So.
Not flooded with just normal water.
My God.
With muddy water.
Yeah.
You can see the water is red.
Okay. All right. We know that about 18 people have been killed in the Burkina Faso incident as well. All right. We'll come back with more later on. But just to say thank you to Smart Organic Solutions, SOS Advance, for bringing us the review segment of our show. Today of all days, we've got to come back with your messages because our time is up.
Yes, and that's where we bring in Benedict also to bring us the latest sports stories. We know Real Madrid striker Cristiano Ronaldo has gotten some bans.
Everybody gets it. How many people, two players got it in Chelsea? Why is this one big news headline, really? Ronaldo gets red card, so what? How dare him? How can you push a referee?
Oh, he didn't just tap the referee. The referee too, or he made a man.
Is that his co-equal?
Oh, and shouldn't penalize him.
Really?
It's a problem.
Stay with that.